Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says her government is considering its options after an Alberta court granted an injunction preventing the province from banning gender-affirming care for minors. On her weekly radio show, Smith said she believes the court made an error. Now, on Friday, the court ruled Bill 26 would cause irreparable harm to gender-diverse young people and block the new legislation that would have restricted access to gender-affirming hormone therapy for people under the age of 16. And with me now is Bennett Jenson, Egale's legal director. Bennett, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
How important was this injunction?
Tremendously important. I think it's impossible to overestimate the amount of stress that gender diverse young people and their families and their medical providers have been in for the past 18 months while they've been living in this situation of uncertainty about whether or not they'd be able to continue to receive medical care. And finally, we now have clarity that they can.
And what were the court's arguments on this?
So the court, what was I think really powerful about what the court found was that in the face of so much misinformation, including unfortunately what we just heard from the premier before the commercial break, the medical care being provided is well understood, is generally safe, and is being provided in a very cautious way to young people for whom it's appropriate. Nobody is sterilizing 10-year-olds. That's a deep misunderstanding of what's happening, and the court was very careful on the basis of evidence to clarify what's going on and to say that the harm is actually in the denial of this care for those whom it's appropriate, not the prohibition of it.
Now, the premier says the government is looking at their options. What options do they have in this case?
So, I mean, I think an option they should be thinking really seriously about is whether or not they should be defending the legislation at all, or whether they should be looking to repeal it. I take the premier and the government at their word that they are interested in protecting the best interests of young people in the province. And we now have a court decision on the basis of expert evidence finding that this is an ill-advised piece of legislation. So I think that's an option. They could, of course, appeal as well, and we would continue to make our arguments in court.
And what does this mean for future policy and future decisions when it comes to medical decisions for minors?
Well, I hope it's a powerful signal for the whole country about why we don't want governments interfering in the medical decisions that are appropriately made by doctors in consultation with their with their patients. In the case of young people, with the parents and the young people themselves, this has been a really unfortunate politicization of gender diverse young people, more akin to what we see in the United States. And this decision restores the decision making to where it should be, with the medical experts and families.
Okay, Bennett, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Bennett Jenson is Egale's legal director.